Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is HD Starcraft, your broadcaster, and I'm here for another Heart of the Swarm matchup. And it's time for, of course, the continuation of Liquid Snute versus CM Storm Polt. This is from the ZvT Cup, and Snute is going to be the blue Zerg player in the top right-hand corner of the map, GSL Planet S. And his opponent is going to be in the bottom left-hand corner. Once again, it is Polt as the red Terran player. And the first game of this set, if you guys haven't caught it yet, make sure to stop this video right now and check it out. That was an incredible Terran versus Zerg. 30 minutes long, I think it was, which in real time, I know Blizzard time is like, I don't know how Blizzard does their time, but apparently they must be very late to all their meetings because 30 minutes in Blizzard time is 20 minutes in real time. So yeah, don't know what the reason for that is. I think it's actually like 22 or something like that. You guys can actually tell by going to my YouTube channel and then looking at the video and seeing how long the time of the video, the time index is, and then comparing that to the gamer time index. So there it is. Anyways, a little bit of a tangent, but this is going to be game 2 from the ZvT Cup. This is a best of 5, I believe, and this is going to be just an incredible series. We already had a hot start to it, and both of these players are, you know, I didn't really elaborate on this too much, but Polt is a godly Terran. I mean, he's a kick-ass beast Terran, right? He used to be called Optimus Prime when he was on Team Prime. He was the first Optimus, which is basically the first, you know, best player on the team. And Snute is this Norwegian player who's just been ripping it up in the tournament scene in Heart of the Swarm. He is, you know, well considered to be one of the top Zergs right now. And that's why I said this matchup between Snute and Polt, I think, is going to be pretty evenly matched. I think both of them are of a relatively same skill level. I might just slightly give the nod to Polt, but just barely. And we'll see, man. This is going to be game 2, guys. Very excited. I'm super stoked right now to see what happens. And as you guys all know, I'll be leaving out to Las Vegas actually tonight. So I'll be back in about 5 or 6 days. And I'll start casting some more games for you guys then. But I hope you guys enjoyed all the videos I've been doing so far. So anyways, we do have a spawning pool here for Snute. Got a lot of drones mining at the main base. He's got a hatchery down at the natural expansion. And it looks like we will be having a Reaper come out here for Polt out of the barracks. And this is how a lot of Terrans, you know, play. They'll build an early Reaper. They want to find out what's going on the Zerg side of things. This is much easier, for example, than dropping down a comsat. And you know, the Reaper, it's a bit neutered in terms of the damage it can do, but it's very quick now. It stays alive for extended periods because if you take some damage, yeah, just pull it out of there and heal it up. It's super easy. So it's a very nice way to scout into the Zerg base now. And that's exactly what Polt's going to do. So he's going to bring it in. Queen is the first line of defense, really, against the Reaper. Zerglings don't do too hot against them. But we can see here the Zerglings are going to try to hold their own as more Zerglings are coming in from the south. And as long as the Reaper stays off creep, it really can't get hit by Zerglings. And that usually is enough for time for Snute to go ahead and get the Queen out. So this Reaper won't be able to get much damage done. Although it will see that Snute doesn't have any gases running right now. And when you see that a Zerg doesn't have any gas, you can eliminate a couple possibilities like, you know, an early Cheese, early Nidus, early Spire, early Infestation for Swarm Host, you know, quick upgrades, Baneling busting. These go down in likelihood when you don't see a gas from the Zerg player. So this is always important. And now we actually have the double gas being added on as the Reaper was pushed away. So yeah, it looks like Snute will be adding on the gases now, which isn't, you know, isn't too unusual. Usually you want to see Zerg players start getting gases, but the fact that he added on both of them right after the Reaper left the base, it does have me wondering a little bit what he could possibly be, you know, getting 2 gases for this quickly, but we'll see. We'll see. You know, it could just be for tech up, it could be for upgrades, or it could be for something dastardly. But only time will really tell. As we have a factory, a refinery, a starport inside the Terran main base. He will be going for possibly Banshees, but more likely we're going to be seeing Medevacs here because the starport is pretty far away from the barracks. So I don't think he's going to swap it onto that tech lab. I think he's going to go for Medevacs after the Viking, and he's going to try to go for Marine Hellion drops. Meanwhile, a quick layer is being researched back in the main base for Snute, and Snute hasn't yet grabbed a third, but here we go. The drone is coming out there, and it is going to become a hatchery. So Snute does have a third coming up. I was getting a little excited there, a little anxious, because I thought maybe Snute was doing a quick tech to layer and he was going to stay on 2 bases and do something fun. But I think he's going to go for a hatchery. He hasn't quite plopped it down yet, although he has the money. He hasn't thrown it down yet, and I'm not too sure what the reason for the delay is. It does look like we have a Zergling that was somehow able to make its way into the Terran base and was able to actually kill off a couple of SCVs. 4 SCVs went down, which I did not catch. I do apologize. I didn't catch those SCVs falling down. So 4 SCVs have gone down already, so Snute with a bit of a good start to this game, and this drone is just waiting for orders to become a hatchery. I'm actually surprised Polt hasn't sent something down here to the bottom to check for that drone. He's been very campy outside of the Zerg natural, but he hasn't been checking for the Zerg third base, and here comes the third. Snute is gonna sneak it all the way to the bottom right-hand corner of the base. I'm not too sure of the map. I'm not too sure why Snute is hiding it all the way down there. Perhaps he's concerned about this Terran army camping outside. And so far, Polt has really been able to keep Snute in the back of the natural. Snute hasn't really been able to press out yet, but we have 10 roaches on the way. And I think once those roaches come out, Polt is going to have to fall back. He will not be able to continue to camp outside the Zerg natural. And Polt, actually, you guys saw that they're glancing down to this expansion, trying to see, hey, where's your third hatchery? Why don't you have it yet? He's going to bring a medevac up here as well with Widow Mines. He is not going to see a hatchery there. Now he's really got to be scratching his head, because no Zerg at this point, unless they're going all in, stays on 2 bases. So at this moment, Polt knows either there's a ninja hatchery somewhere on the map, or something crazy is about to happen, and it's actually the former. So Snute right now is pushing out with some roaches. I think it's almost as if to say, hey, I'm all-inning you, I'm bringing a bunch of units, and that's forcing Polt to throw up a bunker. He's widow mining, he's walled off the front, and he's really concerned right now about this attack, but in actuality, it's really not that many roaches. This is all that Snute is bringing out. In the meantime, we do have some mines, so we're actually able to plop down, and they killed off a bunch of drones. Those mines from that medevac went down 7 kills on this one, and 6 kills on that. And Snute just taking a walloping in the background, losing a ton of his workers. That was pretty brutal. And now he will bring out the Overseer and be able to clear that out. But that was rough right there for Snute, losing all those drones. And it looks like Polt is going to find that hatchery in the bottom right-hand corner. So now he knows, okay, you're not all-inning me. So he double cancels whatever he was building here, which I'm assuming had to be double bunker. And so he's basically saying, oh, okay, I know you have a hatchery now, so you're not going crazy after all. And Polt's gotta feel pretty comfortable right now, because he brought those Widow Mines in. Those 2 Widow Mines killed almost 15 drones, and it looks like we have more drones going down here. Those Hellions are roasting up workers, and Snute, not off to a good start this game, has lost 23 drones already. And the Hellion is still alive back here. It could certainly go for a couple more shots. We have some weakened drones now running over to the ramp, but the Hellion was actually cornered off and taken out. But what a start for CM Storm Polt here in this series. I mean, the first game, obviously, by now I'm assuming you guys know what happened, but Polt won the first game. And it looks like here in the second game, he will be going for you know, a very similar strategy, basically going for that Marine Widow Mine Marauder style. And this is just so good. But Snute here, with a lot of roaches, is going to look to maybe take out this orbital command, but I'm not sure if he has enough troops. He might just want to go for some SCVs and meals and get the hell out of there. But the Marines and Marauders have stim pack, which means these roaches will have a very hard time running away. They've got to scurry on out of there. And Polt, I think he'll probably stop pursuing here, as there is a roach that was sent to the back, and that was really smart by Snute. Snute basically using that single roach in order to distract the Marines and Marauders so he could get the rest out of there. And then for a second they're trying to go back in, I guess, to do a little bit more damage, but now I think he's got to pull away and think about defending this base. More roaches coming out as well. Now I've got to say, the army from Snute that he's fielding right now, it is designed to deal with this Marine Marauder Widow Mine style a little bit better than Zergling Baneling, because roaches can actually absorb shots by Widow Mines. Zerglings and Banelings cannot. So I think what Snute is going for here is a bit of a counter to the style that Polt has. The only problem to that is when you go mass roaches, Marauders kind of rip you a new one. So all Polt has to do is really just focus on very heavy Marauder production. And obviously keeping some Marines and Mines there as well in case of a tech switch. But I think that's all Polt really has to do, and this is just a really well-rounded army by Polt. It's designed to deal with anything the Zerg can throw at them. Here comes some Widow Mines trying to get underground. They will detonate on those Zerglings, and those Marauders better consider themselves lucky, because had that Widow Mine not detonated, those Marauders probably would have died. But as it stands, Snute has to pull away once again, and we're having a little bit of a tug of war here down to the south as both armies continue to vie for control over these two expansions. It looks like a wall has been erected from Polt, though very smart to throw up a couple of supply depots here just to buy himself some time. And that will allow him to obviously fortify this area much better. And he's even got some Widow Mines out here on the low ground. Those mines have reset, and Snute there was about to run in with all of his forces, but wisely took a second to stop and send in a few trailing Zerglings to distract the mines. And now it looks like he's cleared up the minefield once again. With the Overseer overhead, he was able to pick them off. And so he doesn't have to worry about mines in the snow anymore. And now he's going to bring in these Zerglings and Roaches. Upgrades currently at 211 and 1-1 for the Zerg and the Terran, respectively. So Snute has a slight upgrade advantage, but Polt is going to go for yet another drop. Now this time around he could pick off the Ultralisk Cavern in the background. I think he might go for the Ultralisk Cavern. No, it looks like there are some Zerglings and Queens back here, and every good Zerg nowadays, they just leave a handful of units at every base. Yeah, you have, you know, creep and you can quickly connect the bases, but if you just leave a few Zerglings here or there, it can just buy you that necessary time, or you can throw down a couple Spores and Spines as well, and that helps deal with Widowmine drops at the same time. So I like what Snute did there, and Polt forced to retreat. It looks like we have a massive attack though coming out from Polt on the bottom side. There aren't any Banelings in Snute's army, so Snute will have to rely on his Infestors to deal with these Marines. He is trying to get the Chain Fungal down right now. Meanwhile, it looks like Polt is pushing out with armies all over the place, looking to engage in multiple skirmishes where he can maximize his skill, his talent in Starcraft 2. It looks like Snute here really focused on protecting this expansion down to the bottom right-hand corner, and why shouldn't he be? This hatchery is absolutely vital. In the meantime, though, there is an attack going on at the front door, but an Ultralisk comes out. Is the Ultralisk enough? Fungal comes, but the Fungal was just a tad late. Had that been earlier, the Ultralisk might have been able to clean up those Marines, but it looks like the Medivacs are going to pull them out of there, and this hatchery, I think, is going to go down. Snute trying to bring in more reinforcements here, a ton of Zerglings. He should be able to protect this hatchery. There are some minefields he has to go through, but he has just pure raw numbers of Zerglings, and he floods his way through the mines and takes out the siege tanks in the background as well. The Medivacs have to retreat, saving any troops they possibly can. In the meantime, those Storm Polt drops down his Marines in the main base. He has picked off the Ultralisk Cavern, but not before 6 Ultralisks were produced. So even though the cavern goes down, I don't think it's really going to hamper Snute's production, you know, as long as he throws down a new Ultralisk Cavern immediately. In the meantime, Snute also brings in a bunch of Zerglings and Roaches into the expansion, and Snute actually GG's. Snute GG's here, which, you know, a little surprising to me. I think a bit premature, because he just ripped through all these SCVs inside this expansion. I don't even know how he got his Ultras and Zerglings there. I guess the wall here was down temporarily, and Snute was able to kill off a bunch of SCVs here. I suppose it was pretty much kind of over because he lost a hatchery down here in the bottom right, and he still had to deal with these Marines. So Polt takes a victory again. So now it is 2-0 in Polt's favor, and ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go on to game number 3. Incredible series so far, great skill, so I'll see you guys there. HD signing out.